Welcome back to the Billboard Pop Shop Podcast, 5 Seconds of Summer. Hey, guys.
How you going?
Man. Hello.
Thrilled that you guys could come in for this. You've been on the show before. The last time you were on was for our special 5th anniversary show.
Yeah, it was.
And then before that, you were on our 100th episode, Spectacular. This particular show is just special because you're on it.
Oh,
I don't have anything else tied to it, unfortunately.
there's no sort of gimmick with this one.
No gimmick. It's just you guys, and that's why it's special. Cool. But there's a lot to talk about. New music, new album coming, new tour, new everything. But first, you recently released the single and video for Teeth. It's a pretty visually stunning video with a song to match. When I heard the song, it has like sort of hues of like new wave and industrial electronic rock all kind of blended in there, paired with some pretty emotional lyrics. Talk me through how the song came together. How'd you guys write the song? All that stuff. I want to hear everything about it.
It's a big story.
Well, you can go as long as you like. We're here. Well, no, we're here for like what, 3 hours, you guys? I'm kidding.
Yeah, we got 3 hours.
Tell me.
Yeah, so we were in the studio with Andrew and Ali. We wrote pretty much the whole album that you'll hear soon. We did Easier with Ryan Tedder, and so we continued to write with him. And it was just one of those. It was kind of I don't exactly remember all the details because it was kind of a blur of a month or a month and a half of writing. That's kind of where the album came from, just kind of every day going in and trying to beat what we did the day before. Or even beat what we did like, on our previous albums with Youngblood and, so on and so forth. But it kind of just came about. I remember we were going through like a bunch of different like starter ideas because we had Ryan there. He's there for like a couple of hours. And we're like, flicking through things. And the one thing that came up was like a bass line idea, I believe. Ashton can correct me if I'm wrong, but a bass line idea.
Ashton's shaking his head no.
I don't hear
this
bass
is
in
not
this
how it
track.
happened.
For the people listening who can't see him, he was shaking his head no.
Yeah, and it came about really quickly, actually. It was just like a bass line, then worked on the melody, and then the lyrics came after. It was very, very, very simple. But yeah, it was kind of just in that blur of writing. It was just one of those ideas that really like stuck out, and we held on to, and we ran with it on the day. Yeah.
So when you were sort of vibing and just trying to find something, you found the bass line. So the music came first, and then you paired lyrics to it, or did it all sort of kind of mush together, kind of in the same way?
A lot of this album is music first, lyric second. Music first, melody second, lyric last. Usually, is kind of what it is, the process at the moment. The good thing about producing our stuff with Andrew Watt is he has the ability to take a 4-piece band like us, and we record live in his studio. We come up with ideas, and we did that for about 2 weeks. We would just do a couple of ideas every day. And then he has this incredible engineer who will piece it all together and kind of quantize it and make sure it's not like sounding like just 4 guys in a room banging on instruments. So then we do that, and then we kind of formulate an idea of how this could work with the direction that we want to go in. And obviously we're a pop group, so we're like, okay, is this suitable for, a big melody that would work? Is this suitable for the lyrical tone we're going for? And then we kind of comprise our lyric content with Ali Tamposi, and we would come up with lyrics and melody with her. On these tracks that have been kind of cleaned up from a live setting. And then we send them to Lou Bell. And Lou Bell kind of modernizes.
Sprinkles Lou Bell dust on it.
And then you have your song. So that's kind of where Teeth came from, and a lot of all the other songs on our new record as well.
So, and Tom Morello is on the track. Is he doing... the press release says that he's playing guitar throughout the track.
Yeah.
Where is he end and you begin, or is that all him? Tell me.
Tom's, the pre-existing track, it would sound, we would fill in the kind of space that Tom is playing if he wasn't on the song, but his playing stylistically, he's throughout the whole song.
But then you're in there with him.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think the main parts that Tom... that you can really hear him on is that last kind of re-intro part of the song where it kind of does like the more solo-y section.
Right.
That's like his vibe.
The part at the end where you sort of see the two guitars like battling it out.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is Tom here.
Yeah, it was kind of like a thing where the song was written and it was pretty much there. And Andrew Watt knows a bunch of people and had Tom come over. and he kind
Sure,
of
just had Tom Morello. Come
Yeah,
over.
exactly.
I love the way you just like cash. So cash.
He almost was like just kind of do your thing on it. So even like the I don't know how to describe them, like the chugs in the verse, they kind of sound like a snare or something, but they're actually him chugging on his guitar like he does in a lot of Rage songs. And then the guitar at the end is very, very Tom Morello.
Yeah, which takes you to the finessing of paying attention to industrial minimal elements in our music at the moment. I mean, there's no actual snares or anything that you would have in your regular rock song. Well, regularly what this band has is we have like a drum layering in there. But this one is using just breaths and like static and chugs and electronic kind of muted sounds, which is cool.
When you're in the studio and the four of you are recording and you've got the song kind of in some sort of semblance, are you also thinking, all right, shit, we have to do this live, like on the road? How can we replicate this without a bunch of computers assisting us?
I think we're never afraid of that because I think we're a better live band than we are a recording group at the minute. And they're two very different things, obviously. But as a live band, I think we have a familiar energy that we always try to captivate, which isn't hard for us to find. In the studio, it's actually hard for us to inject organic elements sometimes. That would be raw enough to translate live and also what our audience would expect and what would be kind of scary to them as a sonic. I mean, it's something that we've struggled with because we are actually playing a lot more instruments on our tracks than we ever have. Like we're playing pretty much everything. Apart from like, I don't know, 808s or something like extra production stuff. But our fans, some of them have been like, oh, you guys it's not your second record that you put out. And we're like, yeah, but we're actually a lot more complex musically these days and more hands-on than we used to be. So
you got to grow.
Yeah,
you
totally.
Gotta change.
And I think we play a pretty good balance when we're in the studio because, you know, there is the part of us knowing that you have to eventually play the song, but I think that when you're in the studio, it's just about what is going to sound really good on this song, and how are we going to make people, when they put their headphones on and whatever they do to listen to this song, how is that going to sound great? Because I think as we've been a band for so long, taking it to a live environment isn't going to be hard, and it's never really been that difficult to translate any of like the new songs that you'll hear. It's not going to be hard for us to translate it into a live environment because it's based around live music,
right?
And so when you base it around live music, and then that's when you decide to kind of like strip away some of the elements that don't really fit and add in things that are more like production value type of stuff, it still has like the DNA of a live band song. Right. And so as soon as we get into rehearsal and we start playing those songs live, it's like super easy.
I was reading how some of the music on the new album, which is coming at some point soon, we'll talk more about that in a second, was kind of influenced a bit by, I think, Luke going to goth clubs.
I would say that would be a cheesy thing for us to agree with. But I think a lot of the new music has been influenced by certain specific nightlife.
Nightlife.
Yeah, I've heard of it before. It's kind of like how do I word this? I don't know. Just paying attention to energies that draw you and inspire you, and I guess that's why we moved to LA. Like I wouldn't be sitting in middle of fucking nowhere, Sydney, if I was looking for inspiration. And we were looking for things that inspired us, and they were raw. I think there's been some specific musical taste shifts in the group for sure, especially since the last record.
So Teeth and Easier are both both part of a forthcoming album.
Yes.
Are these two songs indicative of kind of the sonic vibe of the album? Callum, you have yet to speak to any of us yet.
Well, it's kind of like the first time I'm really speaking about Teeth or whatever. So
well, what better time than now?
It's interesting just to hear everyone's thoughts. Yeah, I'd say they serve different purposes within the album. I say because we very much create songs as an album, or thinking as the album as a whole, instead of just individual songs. And I think with Teeth, that's a song that we didn't have, and I didn't write the song, so I was hearing it with fresh ears, and I knew it was something that we hadn't discovered yet within the band, which is why I'm so happy that we're releasing it as a single as well. It reminds me of, like, as weird as it sounds, like kind of AC/DC in terms of like the pulse and energy. And for that, it's a really special thing for me, because it means that we're almost connecting with the roots of the band in a modernistic way. So I'd say it is definitely within, these two songs are good indicators of
The rest of it isn't like a new age album.
No.
Okay.
But they're good. Yeah. They're good indicators of what's to come. It's definitely my favorite album we've ever created, for sure.
There's also, like, there could be potentially a slight directional shift after this single, but as a pop group at the moment, we understand there's a versatility on our record as well that could be utilized if, for instance, people absolutely hate Teeth. You know what I mean? Because that's a potential. It's like, we love Teeth, and that's the only thing that really matters.
It's the only thing that matters, really.
But also, there are other songs that we have that would guide people, maybe eventually back to Teeth.
You have an album's worth of amazing material.
Yeah, I hope so. I like it.
There's a thread that, kind of runs through it, but, Teeth stands on its own, and he's right, there's definitely other songs that, might cater to other people, and hopefully would bring them back around to Easier and Teeth, which is kind of the plan of, like, the whole thing of an album.
Yeah.
You want it to be diverse. You don't want to hear the same song how many times.
Yeah, and, like, just to cap off album conversation, it's really hard. We're not capping off. I'm just saying my piece. This record that we're about to release is just, it's so fucking good. It actually is just so good, and I'm like proud to say that. It's just so.
I haven't heard you say that in a long time.
It's like, it's so different in every single song that you hear, and it's so current, but also a throwback at the same time. It really is going to be like exactly what I think people who are fans of 5 Seconds of Summer are going to want.
Should we tell them the album name, guys?
Let's tell them the album name on 3.
1, 2, 3. Don't know.
I text everyone once a week. So, like, what's the album gonna be called?
Just like no answers.
Oh, like that was my next question. What's the name of the album? All right. So there is no. Is there actually no title, or you're just not?
We
telling
don't have
me?
a title
no
because
right
you don't want to call it something cheesy either. You know what I mean? Because it is darker, so you get like inclined to call it like
darker.
I didn't fucking know, something that's like intriguing, but also.
I mean, at the moment, we'd probably call it Teeth, but then
Untitled.
like as you release more songs, you kind of. I don't know. I think we'll unravel what the name will be.
You've got these like Depeche Mode records that are called Violator and Ultra, and it's like these fucking epic names, and I can't see us pulling that off at the moment. So I don't know. I don't know like what we're gonna do.
Violator doesn't really work that well.
They also had People Are People. They also. I mean, they had it anyway. We're not talking about Depeche Mode. So. Is there a general time of when this album is coming? Is it this year? Is it early next year? Do we know?
I think it's.
Is there a
It'll
season?
be next year.
Yeah,
it'll be next year. We tried to get it out this year, but it's just not going to work. But we want to get it out as early as possible.
It's just not going to work.
It's just not going to work for any of us.
Well, we had a lot to do this year as well. Like we signed a new label and everything. It's been.
I was going to ask you. There are people from the label in this room looking at me right now that are trying to drag you out. But I wanted to ask specifically, with the success of Youngblood, which was your biggest single yet.
Yeah.
Coming off 3 #1 albums.
Yeah.
All the extent of your full-length studio albums. And going to a new label, Interscope Records.
Yeah.
Was there pressure internally on yourselves? Like, oh shit, this is like, what are we going to do?
No.
Or you're just like, nah, we're good.
No, the decision we've made to even just change a lot of our situations has been really empowering and liberating to the creativity of the group and the direction and instinctual kind of feelings on our music that we have are more aligned with the people we work with now, which is great. So it feels really refreshed and really good.
Last thing, tour.
Yes.
Coming up.
Yeah.
Chainsmokers.
Yeah.
September 25th. Runs through December 6th. Excited? Have you figured out who's going on stage first? That's the most important question.
It's definitely.
Or are they just they're going to be DJing the entire time with you?
Well, you got to picture it like this: you go for a night out. It's Friday night. You're down at the Echoplex or something. I don't know where you go, and then
You're playing the Forum in LA.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know if you knew that.
And the way we're playing the Echo, and I picture it like this. It's like you go in. It's like 9 p.m. You're in like the kind of rock pop room, but you know there's an EDM party upstairs, but you got to have a couple beverages before you go upstairs. And then you go see the Chainsmokers after us. That's kind of how we're seeing the natural progression of this
like
evening.
the narrative.
It's the narrative at the Echo, but you're in the forum.
Right.
You know?
So we're like the couple beverages band.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's good. We've got a set list planned. We're excited. It's going to be good. And those guys, I don't know if you've ever met them, but they're like just the greatest people on earth. So we really enjoy spending time with them, and it's going to be a fun tour. And
yeah. When you get involved with people like the Chainsmokers, you do not know what to expect because we're not from that world, obviously. But their work ethic and the way they've treated us along the way whilst working with them has actually been surprisingly really, really adorable in many ways. They're very welcoming and very, very polite and making sure that we're stoked on what's being released and how everything looks and feels because we're kind of crazy about that at this point in our career.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. And I wish you guys the best of luck with everything with this album and with the tour and everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.